Hello, I'm Roger Willoughby. I'm a governor of the Royal Humane Society, and I'm also the Society's honorary advisor. This year marks the 250th anniversary of the founding of the Society, and as part of our anniversary celebrations, we are every day remembering a rescue that we have had the honour to recognise, typically with the award of a medal. Today's story from the archives comes from 1955, the year that Albert Einstein died, and the year when plans began to be brought together for the Eurovision Song Contest. So, on with the story. On the 24th of January 1955, the weather off Land's End was overcast, with a moderate force 4 breeze blowing from the south-southwest and a moderate sea. At 7 p.m. that evening, a Firefly Mark 7 aircraft from 796 Squadron at the Royal Naval Air Station at Culdrose in Cornwall crashed into the sea some 20 miles northwest of Land's End, its pilot being killed. Petty Officer Ivor Lawrence Beale and Midshipman Richard Shepherd were in the rear cockpit. On crashing, the aircraft turned over and sank. Beale and Shepherd managed to release themselves from the aircraft underwater, but Shepherd's dinghy snagged and he had to leave it in the aircraft. Beale escaped with his dinghy and on coming to the surface spent a couple of minutes releasing his parachute and making sure the dinghy was secure. Then, realizing that Shepherd was in the water about 50 feet away without a dinghy, he swam to him and then opened his own dinghy. Seeing that Shepherd had a head injury and was only partly conscious, he pushed Shepherd into the one-man dinghy and then climbed in himself over Shepherd's legs. Beale's action in rescuing Shepherd and in getting him into the dinghy was most praiseworthy in view of the fact that Beale had a fractured rib and a badly contused arm. Subsequently in the dinghy, Beale managed to revive Shepherd, whose immersion suit had been torn in escaping from the aircraft and was full of water. They then attempted to keep each other warm, Beale being wet through as his own immersion suit was also punctured. After 3 hours, the two men were picked up by the British tanker Scottish Eagle. The master of the Scottish Eagle reported, quote, "I would like the attention of the proper authority drawn to the great bravery shown by Petty Officer Beale in saving the life of Midshipman Shepherd. When these two men fought their way out of the aircraft, it was submerged to a depth of about 20 feet, and both of them were injured and badly shocked. Beale's dinghy was the only one to inflate, and it was, after all, only a one-man dinghy, and how he managed to get a helpless, semi-conscious man into it in the sea and swell then running is almost beyond understanding. He could only have managed this by jeopardizing his own life. During all the time they were in the water alongside the ship, during the recovery from the water, and during the removal from the lifeboat to the hospital, Beale's only thought was, 'For God's sake, mind his legs.'" End of the quotation. They were treated by a doctor on the Scottish Eagle, and then they were landed at Falmouth the following morning, 5:30 a.m, and transported to the hospital at the Royal Naval Air Station at Culdrose. Ivor Lawrence Beale was subsequently awarded the Royal Humane Society's Stanhope Gold Medal for 1955. This medal is a particularly special medal in that it marks the bravest rescue of the year. If you are interested in the work of the Royal Humane Society and in supporting our efforts to recognize bravery, particularly in life-saving situations, do think about becoming a governor of the society or making a donation to help our work. Full details of these options can be found on the Society's website. Thank you very much.